What is up, guys? Fato82 coming at you with some footage from a Halloween event we ran this past weekend on the US Rustopia server. This event comes from the dark depths of Mr. Camel's mind, and it's Mr. Camel's House of Horror. All the good artwork here was done by Baba Yaga from the US Rustopia server, so if you guys are interested in having some good artwork done on Rustopia, go ahead and hit up Baba Yaga. He does work on commission for in-game items and services. This is both a psychological experiment and also a bit of a snuff film for Mr. Camel's own pleasure. And the goal here is that Newmans will make their way up from the ground level, which is a flooded basement, to the top floor, which are the Face Punch offices. There's a cubicle here for each of the devs, and there's a main house here for Gary himself. And the end goal here is for members to make their way into Gary's own palace. Some doors are more inviting than others, so you want to be careful which ones you open. And you can always hear the ominous sound of an auto turret buzzing, so you never quite know which corner it's around. It's a very stressful place to be.
Hello, Mr. Dirt. I've been expecting you. Welcome to the Rustopia House of Horror.
Mr. Camel, wow. Alright.
There is only one rule. Don't die. Follow me here, please. Be very, very careful.
And the first Newman has entered Mr. Camel's House of Horror. The door has been sealed behind him, so his fate will be whatever is in front of him. And the Newman has come to the first set of doors here, which is a series of choices. One sign says 1408, the one in front of him is a code-locked loot room, and to the left is an ominous face punch looking logo. The Newman does have some degree of free will here, but it will be important that the Newman reads signs and integrates what he's able to assimilate into the way that he thinks about this level. For instance, the digits 1408 would open that loot room and allow the Newman access to go deeper into that area of the base. The Newman has chosen instead to go off to the left towards the Face Punch logo. There's some signs here and another code lock door. Again, this code lock door could be accessed by the 1408 as well, but as of now, the Newman has not realized that.
Mr. Dirt, sorry, I forgot something very important. Could you stay positioned? Very important. We can't have you delving deep without being full health.
And as the Newman moves farther into the base, he's mindful of every step that he's taking, peering around corners slowly. Newmans are very suspicious by nature, but in a House of Horror, all of those senses are heightened. He's come to a room here which is a trap room. It has a bear trap on the floor and a barbed wire barricade. This room has literally no significance in terms of the progression of the level itself. It's literally a dead end. The Newman, however, has become transfixed by this bear trap that's on the ground. He believes it's something he needs to get past in order to make his way through the level. The Newman has used his rock to attempt to set off that bear trap, and the rock has flung across the room and become lodged behind a spiked barbed wire barricade. This has caused the Newman quite a great deal of separation anxiety. When Newmans become separated from their rocks, they experience a decrease in their ability to reason well and to think under pressure, and the Newman again is unable to link the digits 1408 to that loot room door. He's making his way back towards that trap room in an attempt to try to recover his rock, but it is clear to the Newman at this point that the rock is going to be forever lost. He cannot get to the rock without sacrificing his own life, as it is wedged behind that spiked barbed wire barricade. The Newman again is looking at signs for meaning, but many of the signs of this level have no significance to the progression of the level itself. The Newman is attempting to look at the keypad here and use some digits, but again not making the connection of 1408. As the Newman decides which path to take, he again goes back to that trap room that has no significance. He's very transfixed by this trap room. He believes the picture in there has some type of meaning, which is only subjective at this point in time. And the Newman again is looking intently at his rock, which is wedged in the corner there and going to be forever lost to the Newman. He's made his way back to the 1408 sign, and it looks at this point in time he's trying to figure out how that is incorporated into the level itself. The Newman has figured out the digits 1408, and he's made his way up to the second level, where he promptly stepped on a bear trap and bled out.
Rank, welcome. Welcome to the Rustopia Horror House. We've been expecting you. There is only one rule, Mr. Ink. Don't die.
And the second participant for Mr. Camel's House of Horror has arrived. He's arrived under the cover of night, and he's started to progress through the rooms. He was able to make the connection of the digits 1408 and get into that loot room, which has led to a series of honeycombed rooms here, each with a distressing psychological image behind it, which does have some effect on the overall Newman's well-being. At the end here is a chest with 2 rooms on each side. In the chest is a revolver with 2 shots, which will be important for the Newman to survive. In one of these rooms is a savage with a bone club. If the Newman's able to get to that revolver and able to land those 2 shots, he does have some hope of overcoming this savage. But in this case, the savage here with the bone club was able to brutalize the Newman very quickly and is making short work of the Newman's body, while Mr. Camel waits in preparation for the 3rd contestant.
Hello, Mr. Sour Diesel. I've been expecting you. Heal yourself to 100 back here before you go. I know you're very enthusiastic in getting yourself killed. Be smart and be safe.
And the 3rd victim has now entered Mr. Camel's maze of horror. He's made his way to the loot room and the ominous 1408 sign, again not making that connection there that 1408 equates to a door code. He again is taking that pathway towards the exit area, bypassing the door that would send him to the 2nd level if he were to input the code 1408 into that door. Again, he's coming down to check out that trap room, which the Newmans seem to be attracted to like flies to light. He's heading back over into the core of the base to, again, figure out what's going on in this room, looking at the pictures that don't mean anything important inside and missing the most important piece of information outside, which is 1408. Coming back into the exit area here, he again is checking out the trap room here. Like previous Newmans, he's absolutely enthralled by this room. He's thrown his stone at the bear trap in an attempt to disarm it. Again, not being fully successful in doing that and getting his rock lodged against the wall on the opposite side. He attempted to recover that rock and got wounded and is now bleeding out. As fortune would have it, this Newman was given a second chance. As he lays here writhing in pain, he's woken up by the cold water below him, and he's able to regain his footing and get back in the game here to be able to potentially unlock the mysteries and secrets of Mr. Camel's House of Horror. Again, he's back on his feet, and he's going back to that room that wounded him and nearly killed him, which has absolutely no significance to progressing to the next level. Leaving his rock behind, he's come back to the mysterious loot room, missing this 1408 sign. As he goes back to the trap room here and looks to see what may have changed there in that short period of time, Gizmo from the Gremlins movie looks down the hall, pointing, laughing, and gazing at the Newman in absolute disbelief that he too has missed the 1408 connection. The Newman makes his way back into the core of the base here and actually was able to input a code, which we know was the correct code, being 1408, into that door, and to make his way to the 2nd level. He's ascending to level 2 here. And as he rounds the corner there, he promptly hits a bear trap and dies in the exact same location as the first Newman who attempted this maze, looking at that picture of Mr. Camel with the giant penis hanging out. And as the doors open here, Mr. Camel's here to clean up the mess and reset the bear trap. He can't have anything left over when the next contestant starts. The bear trap has been set. Mr. Camel's lurking back into the shadows. It appears as though he's leaving the body for the other contestants to see. Mr. Camel's now back at the guest book, which each participant signs, and he's crossing off the name of Sour Diesel, the most recent Newman to come through. And here we see Mr. Camel getting a sleeping bag ready for the next victim for his House of Horrors.
Mrs. Tiger, I've been expecting you. Welcome to Rostopia's House of Horror.
The Newman DC'd shortly after spawning in, and Mr. Camel promptly took control of the situation, teabagging the unconscious body while he waits.
Miss Tiger, hello. Finally, you're back. Anyways, let me explain to you. You need to use that syringe in your...
Okay.
Yeah, use that syringe in your pocket. Heal yourself to 100, please. Go ahead. Yes. Now, here are the rules. Don't die. Be smart. Good luck. If you die once, that's it. Good luck, Miss Tiger.
Okay.
You'll need it.
And as the 4th Newman makes their way into the inner part of the base here, they're moving in a more cautious manner than the other Newmans previously. They're moving, strafing back and forth. They're opening the door, closing the door in an attempt to see what's behind it quickly before actually committing to going through the door. It's a good tactic to use, especially in a House of Horror in a maze like this. Again, this Newman here appears to not be paying much attention to the numbers 1408 above their head, instead choosing to go again towards that area where we would have the door that would go up to floor number 2, or the hallway back here, which is going to go to that trap room, which is the utterly useless, most useless room on this level. Like the other Newmans, this one too is attracted to that room for some strange reason. There's some odd magnetic pull perhaps, but the Newman is going towards that direction, towards the trap room, and is going to attempt to figure out the mysteries of the trap room, which there aren't any. But the Newman's here again taking that cautious approach. The bear trap is missing because it was walked over too many times in previous Newmans. This Newman has taken a rock to Baba Yaga's painting here in an attempt to break it, hoping there's a secret behind it. This Newman didn't find a secret there, but was able to obtain the secret from this room and go ahead and open and close and open and close the door here to the loot room area. Very interesting, the movements again of this Newman. Very cautious, very calculated, very tactical in the way that she moves. Looking again through the honeycombed area here and seeing the ominous signs that do affect the Newman psychology, she's making her way into the most critical room here, which is the room where she's going to have to choose whether or not she wants to open the door with the savage in it and have that savage come out, or open the other door and take that pistol and perhaps go back out towards the second level. This is a confusing room, a conflicting one. The savage will not trigger unless the Newman actually opens the door. She does have the revolver in her hand and is choosing again to look through the other door here, which is the better choice. Don't open that door, but of course the Newman does because it's a curious creature. I'm not sure what's going on here, but the savage is perhaps not attentive at the moment or asleep on his feet, but he doesn't take any slack, and the moment he sees that Newman there with a revolver, he snaps into action. Now she hesitated, and now she's paying the price with her own death in this house of horror as that savage brutally clubs her to death while Jason Voorhees watches.
Welcome to the house of horror, Mr. Sinbad.
Hello, my
Here
friend.
you go. Hit yourself with this syringe. Be very smart and very careful. This is not a game.
Right.
The final participant has now entered Mr. Camel's house of horror. Will he transcend the first floor and explore the complexities of the house? That remains to be seen, but as of right now he has entered the most critical room here, and it looks as though this Newman is linking the numbers 1408 with the code lock digits, and he is able to unlock this on his first attempt and make his way through this area. Again, coming into this honeycomb section, which provides him with different glimpses of Halloween themed images that do disturb the Newman and put him off guard for his final challenge on this hallway, which at the end again is a chest with a revolver with 2 rounds, which will enable that Newman to potentially take out that savage on the other side of the door if he's able to land the shots. As the Newman makes his way into that area where the chest is, he has to decide if he's going to open the door that will trigger the savage, or if he'll look through the other door and perhaps go back towards the other part of the base. The Newman, like the other ones, is curious, but he does get a glimpse of something in there, arms himself, opens the door back up, fires 1 shot, closes the door again, and this gives the savage not a lot of time to prepare. He's run out, but he's already bleeding out from being shot in the head. The Newman is now taking what was on the savage's body, transferring power symbolically and metaphorically from the savage to the Newman. He's now better equipped to handle the house, and he's better equipped to be able to survive the night. As he moves to the second floor, we're going to go ahead and speed things up a bit here. This floor is a bit complex, and he has to maneuver around bear traps that are on the first floor here, which the previous contestants did fall victim to. He's taking those out by hand with his rock, and he's making a very good attempt to make his way through this area. In addition to worrying about bear traps, the Newman has to dodge 2 turrets which are on this level, and he's able to successfully do that with the first one. There is a savage on this level which was just triggered, but that savage actually fell over a bear trap that had not been set off by the Newman. The Newman was nice and revived the savage, but again decided to ultimately kill the savage, which is the smartest thing to do because there is no kindness in Mr. Camel's house of horror, and it would be a mistake to trust anyone or to revive anyone. As the Newman makes his way around the corridors here, he does so in a very calculated and tactical manner, and he's put himself in a position here which is going to now decide his fate. He has to crack open this chest at the end of the hallway here. He could have acquired the digits to the rooms from clues, but it was a bit too dark to do so, so he has to resort to some brute force and hack open the chest here in order to get a key to be able to go to the final level here, which are the face punch offices. In another display of agility and stamina, the Newman was able to dodge the fire from that turret, and he's now made his way with the key that he acquired from that box over to the door here, which is going to help him ascend to the final layer here, which are the face punch offices. There's an ominous sign in here that says no escape, implying that the Newman may have some difficulty even when he gets up there, but the Newman is still hopeful at this point in time, hoping that he can make his way to the top floor and then further make his way out of this area alive and perhaps even receive an award from Mr. Camel.
Congratulations. You're the only one that who won this game. Come claim your reward. This is not trick. This is not mind game. Every door holds a reward.
Oh boy. May I only choose one?
No, you can't open them all, man. Can't open them all.
Oh god.
And the Newman is now going to receive the award from Mr. Camel for completing this arduous task of making it to the top floor of Mr. Camel's House of Horror on the US Restopia server.
Oh wow, look at this.
Look
This is really good.
this. Yeah. Really good, man.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Sorry, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
The horror house always wins. I'm sorry, man.
Alright guys, as always, really hope you enjoyed this one. We only showed you the rooms that the Newmans were able to glimpse with their own eyes, so about 30% of the signs actually weren't able to be seen. As always guys, Fado82, peace.